Well, hey everybody, and welcome back to Vault Hunters. Welcome back to the channel. Last time we worked on a few things down in the basement area. I wanted to start off up here because there's always some visual issues with the elevators or with the framed blocks or with the drawers themselves. But last time we got a little bit of a power situation set up. We got ourselves some power from our ender cell sitting down there. We have millions of RF in the system here, and we have plenty of lava being produced as well. We can take out our buckets, we can clear our hotbar, we can grab the buckets and produce a lava. I'm so happy with the progress that was made last episode. The only bad thing that we have is the fact that we have to go through all these things. We have to go through this chest, we have to go through our drawers, then we have to run over to the crafting table, and it makes things very, very complicated. So today I want to look into some sort of digital storage, and we have three major options. Really, we only have three options. But simple storage networks, refined storage, and applied energistics. I believe I talked about this before. Since this is the episode I'm hoping to get things done in, we're going to talk about them again. Simple storage networks is just that. It is a simple network. It works very well. I used this for almost the entirety of my Cryptopolis playthrough. It works, but it has its downsides, like automation isn't really a thing, so we're not going to go with simple storage networks. Refined storage and applied energistics are almost identical in mods. The only difference is there's a couple of things different between refined storage and applied energistics. Refined storage is more simple than AE2, but it's more complicated than simple storage networks. And applied energistics, of course, is the more complex, but once you get going with the system and you learn it, it's not that bad. Before we munch down on our knowledge stars here and take it, there are a few things that we are going to need. We're going to need an inscriber. We're going to need some presses, which I believe can be crafted, but also can be found. We're going to need some flux cable, which isn't going to be too bad. It's just some Certus quartz, which we have to get. We'll have to go mine some Certus quartz, I believe. And then we need this ME controller, which is quite expensive. We need these flux crystals. We need chromatic steel. We need the engineering processor. Which doesn't look too bad. The thing that is going to be the most expensive is, of course, the ME crafting terminal. We could just make the terminal, which is the standard recipe. It is quartz, glass, glowstone, redstone, and iron. But we can't craft in this thing. This requires a POG and then a logic processor, which is just Larimar. Chromatic and printed silicone. Then it requires these different cores, which isn't too bad. But this thing right here is what is going to cost us quite a bit, because we need 8 pogs with an echo gem, perfect echo gem, to get this guy going. It's going to be a little bit expensive. The good news being we have enough to make a perfect echo gem, and I have more than enough to make our pogs perfect. Well, unlocking refined storage, of course, unlocks the transmog, which is pretty nice. And it does bump everything else if we wanted to get anything else. Like I said, getting started with refined storage, we need these presses. And I actually had already found a couple of things. I have a little bit of sky stone in here, which is this stuff right here, and I do have a fluix block. I got these from that right there where it says AE2, and I believe there's a closer, there's a closer place to go, but there is a meteor in here. Now, normally what you have to do in applied energistics is you have to make this meteorite compass, this guy right here, which is a piece of Certus and some iron, and this will take you to a meteorite to where we can find those presses. Luckily for us, they're pretty easy to find on the map. And this is what they look like. Little meteorite in the ground here. Nothing crazy. There normally is a chest in here that we're going to get to. There is the fluix. There's more fluix, and inside the chest we have the Inscriber calculation press and the engineering press, which is really nice. I do want to collect all of the fluix, and I believe that is it. Yeah, the skystone and stuff we're not going to be able to do too much with. I think we'll put it in a drawer. But I do need to go around and look at these other meteorites and see if I can't get the logic. And what's the other press? The silicone press. Well, after 3 meteorites, we found all 4 presses. We found a little bit of Certus quartz, and we found some fluix, which is really nice. So the first thing that we need to craft is the Inscriber. Looks like we need a block of copper. We need 5 chromatic steel and a perfect Larimar gem. That should be perfectly fine. It's a waxed copper block. Ooh. We should have this guy right here, so we can make a waxed copper block, and let's not throw that away. Perfect. Now, the Inscriber is the only thing from Applied Energistics that actually will take, I guess I should have just done this, that will take AE2, I'm sorry, it's the only thing from AE2 that will accept power. I don't know if we actually need power. I think we do. Let's try the silicone press, and we just need to smelt up a little bit of quartz. I'm gonna have to go to the nether and get more quartz. Can I even put you in here? I cannot. Where is my furnace? We're gonna let this run, but, ooh. Hold on. Does this still work? It's not. The Applied Energistics. The silicone has to be made from Certus quartz dust. And I believe this thing needs power. Yeah, it definitely needs power, and this does work, so that's fine. Okay, perfect. Now, I'm going to go ahead and rerun this guy over here, let it run. Unfortunately, we're going to probably be a piece of coal short. But, as I said, this is the only thing from Applied Energistics that will actually run off of FE. Otherwise, it has to come out of the controller on a channel through the fluix glass cable, which we need Certus quartz for. And the Certus quartz we're going to have to probably go mine. We can take our charged Certus quartz in. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we're going to have to go get a little bit of Certus quartz, I think. because I don't necessarily want to waste a bunch of this. But there is a dust. Perfect. All right, so we're going to need to go do a little bit of mining. Oh, future Zap here, while past Zap is going to mine some Certus quartz with a question. I had a more or less question posed to me about my vault runs, saying, hey, what do you think about uploading these to the second channel? And to that, I say that is a great idea. The only downside is I do record all of my vault runs when I am not able to record, so there wouldn't be any commentary, which is probably better for the vault runs, considering sometimes we're heavily concentrated. Heavily concentrated? No, heavily concentrating. Jeez. And there wouldn't be any audio, or my voice anyway. It would just be me running through the vaults. Maybe put some music on it, maybe speed it up. My question is, what do you guys think? Is that something you would be interested in? Do you want to see that? Let me know in the comment section below. Mined a bunch of Certus quartz. I've got 200 something here. 297. And I did go ahead and put it in its own little drawer with nether quartz. And to be perfectly honest, in the full transparency of this channel, I've actually done a lot. I have made the ME crafting terminal, I have made glass cable, I have made cable anchors, I've made the energy acceptor, which we haven't talked about yet. I made all of this stuff, and I even placed my terminal in here and was prepping to make these storage buses, and unfortunately all of my recordings were wrong. I have spent the last 3 hours trying to figure out why my recordings were buggered. I have updated OBS, I have changed settings, I have fixed this, I have moved this, I have clicked on that. All to find out my microphone has a built-in thing where we can change how much gain it has, and normally I have that thing turned all the way up and I adjust the settings in OBS. It was turned all the way down. And so what that would do is you would hear the start, but not the middle, and then you'd hear the end of what I was saying in sentences, and it was annoying, and yeah, it was a very simple error on my part. Before I noticed the audio issues, I did notice that the clips were messed up, and so I came in yesterday to start recording, and I looked at my level right here, and this was set to 0. I went into my abilities, and these were set to 0. I went to my talents, and these were set to 0. Oh man, and the expertise were also set to 0. The only thing that I still had was the mods, and so I tried some stuff, and if you're playing along, there are some commands that you can type in, like the vault, and then you can come in here to vault level, and then you can add, right there, you can add experience, you can add expertise points, ability points, you can set level. There are all kinds of things that we can do here. And if we add skill points, which I've already shown this up on the top, we added 40 skill points. I accidentally hit my recording button, but you can remove that by hitting -40 and type enter. And now the skill points are gone. And we can show that, you know, obviously we only have 50. Everything is at 50 because we are at level 50. That is what it should be. No cheating going on here, but that is the reason that I have the cheats enabled, is so that I can type in any of these commands and make sure that in the event of something like yesterday happened, we can fix it. Now, I didn't know how to remove the skill points up here correctly, so I actually typed in the vault, reset, and then I hit all. If you hit all, that corrupts your game. It has a potential to corrupt your game. And what that did is it didn't allow me to click on the talents page, and so I had to reset my game. I had to load a backup save file, and for those of you that don't know, you can go into your instances folder, into the Vault Hunters thing, and there is a backup folder. So just for a quick, in case you're playing along and this happens to you, because I spent a lot of time figuring this out, you go into your computer, you go into users, and then whatever your user is, you go into CurseForge, Minecraft, instances, and there's your Vault Hunters folder. Here is a backup folder. There are automatic backups every day or so, depends on when you load the game. And you can see right here that I unzipped a file from the 20th of July, and then I took that and I pulled that into my saves file here. That is this save. And when I did that, everything came back up. We're back to level 50. There are no issues with everything that's going on here. I meant to put this back up. I didn't lose anything. We didn't lose any of the progress that we had made. We didn't lose any of the power, any of that stuff. Just my recordings is all that was lost. So we're going to do a quick recap. And that is, we need to make an energy acceptor. This energy acceptor has to go to the energy ender cell here. This converts the power from FE or RF to AE2 energy. We need a chromatic iron, and we need vibrant quartz glass. Vibrant quartz glass is just quartz glass crafted with 2 glowstone, and quartz glass is any glass with Acertus quartz. Very easy to make, which we've already made that. We're going to then need some ME glass cable, which is the Fluix crystals. Luckily for us, we actually found quite a few of these Fluix blocks in the meteorites that we were working on. Otherwise, we would have to grow these crystals by throwing this Fluix seed in water, or we could do that. There's another thing that we can do, but it is any kind of sand with a Fluix dust, and the Fluix dust, again, is made by throwing stuff in water, which is redstone, charged Certus quartz, and nether quartz. If we went this route, we would have to make a charger, which is this guy from Applied Energistics. Pretty simple to make. We throw Certus quartz in there, and that's how we get the charged Certus quartz, this stuff right here. Charged Certus quartz is crafted by inserting a uncharged Certus quartz crystal into the charger. That's these guys. These guys you can get from mining, or you can make a Certus quartz seed, throw that into water, and wait 20 minutes. Certus quartz seed is just Certus quartz and red sand, and of course we mined the Certus quartz from the Certus quartz ore. There is a thing called a, what is it? It is a growth chamber. We can make this guy, this crystal growth accelerator. It is vibrant quartz glass, Larimar, Fluix, and this will grow your crystals, albeit slow. I think it's still better than throwing the crystals into water. You can make 6 of these and make this crystal growth chamber, and this bad boy will grow them exceptionally fast. We're not going that route. We have all the stuff that we need to, for now, to make what we need going forward, and I actually have somewhere in here we have the ME glass cables. So we make the cables. The quartz fiber is just glass, Certus quartz, and chromatic iron. Very easy to make. You make 4 of these at a time. Very nice. The other thing that we really needed to make was the controller. This is the brain. So you would have your energy, then the energy acceptor, then the controller. And you can make multiples of these. We can build a multi-block structure. We're not going to do that right now, because we don't have a lot of the chromatic steel. We have some, but not all. These processors require a chromatic steel per, so we needed a printed engineering circuit, which is the perfect Larimar, and then we need the silicone, which is the silicone, and we actually did make, we're having a little bit of visual issues here. a second inscriber, and I made an advanced inscriber. The reason that I made the advanced inscriber is because this inscriber can only hold one item at a time, whereas these guys can hold stacks of stuff. So if we were gonna make a silicone inscription, in the old inscribers, you could only put one of these items at a time, even if you shift-clicked this stack in there. Now, we can shift-click the whole stack in there. So that's a really, really nice thing that we can do. And these are relatively inexpensive. We had to just make more engineering processors and then everything else we had. And I got 2 of these set up so that we can do quite a bit of different inscribing as needed. So controller, pretty easy to craft. We have now the controller, we have the glass cable, we have the energy acceptor, everything is good. The next thing that we needed to make was the crafting terminal. That is a calculation processor, which again is printed silicone, chromatic iron, and then the calculation circuit is just our press with chromatic iron. Very simple to make. The Echo Pog is 8 Pogs with a perfect Echo Gem. We have that. That is a very expensive thing. That is the second time that I've used one of these. I think the other one I made, yeah, the backpack. Not the big backpack. Oh, maybe this is my first Echo Pog. Oof. Anyway, the ME terminal is a Pog, a logic processor. This is just Larimar with a logic press. Annihilation and formation core, which is fairly simple. It is kind of expensive with the Fluix blocks. Eventually, we're going to have to make the crystal chambers and stuff and make our own Fluix. But we made those. The illuminated panel is just bright illuminated panel is just an illuminated panel, which is quartz glass, glowstone, redstone, and an iron. Of course, we've already seen how to make quartz glass. And you put it all together and you get an ME crafting terminal very, very nicely. Now, we did go to the nether. We didn't just go mine Certus quartz. We went to the nether. We mined quartz. We got glowstone. I did make sure to pick up a bunch of redstone. And now what we should be able to do is place this terminal in here. And I think I'm going to place it here because we're going to have a pattern terminal. Plus, this is pretty close to the corner in which we're going to be needing to place our export bus. That is not the right thing. It needs to be a storage bus, I believe. This guy. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. First things first, let's put in the ME terminal. So what we're going to have is we're going to have our power. We're going to have a power cord coming off of it and then into our energy acceptor. The energy acceptor then is going to use the ME glass cable, and that is going to go into our controller. The controller here has a few things to it. First things first, we do have channels enabled, so that means using the ME glass cable on any side of this is going to result in using a channel. And we only have 8 channels per side, like I said, with the glass cable, but there, of course, is some dense cable that you can make. This stuff right here, there's dense smart cable, and then there's just dense covered cable. This is a covered cable, which is literally Fluix with wool. You can use that to make the different colors, and then you can make the dense cable. I believe this allows for 24 or 32 channels per side. We don't really have to worry about that right now. What we're worried about right now is coming up here with a little bit of glass cable, and this is going to use one channel. I'm probably going to pipe out of this pipe straight up into the bottom of this guy right here. That is going to use its own channel, but we don't have to worry about it too bad. Let's replace that for now. Now, if we were to run just a regular colored cable here, it is purple. Our terminal is going to be purple. I don't like that because of kind of what we've got going on color schematic wise. So I did craft these gray cables, which is 8 cables around a gray die. And if we place that in and then place our terminal on that, it is going to be gray. A lot better matching for this right here. And if I want to turn these back into purple cables, all we need is a water bucket. Pretty nice. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to place this polish guy back, and we need to cover this because this looks kind of gross, right? We can do that by making these cable anchors, which is chromatic iron with a nether quartz cutting knife. Nether quartz cutting knife is 2 quartz iron sticks, very easy to make. Once we make these cable anchors, we can then make anything into a facade from Applied Energistics. You just need 4 cable anchors around the whatever you want, and then it will make these different facades, which is pretty cool, if you ask me, because now that is embedded in the wall, and that looks 10 times better than it did before. Now, I can use this for crafting, and that's it. There is nothing else hooked up to this, so what we need to do now is we need to look into getting this storage bus. A lot of Applied Energistics stuff is typically just a bunch of microcrafts, so we need to make these annihilation and formation cores, which means we need quartz, we need Larimar, we need all this stuff. This is going to require that, but we need some Fluix blocks. I believe we have everything we need now. So we need 2 annihilation cores. We're going to need 2 formation cores, and actually, we're going to want 3. So there's 3 annihilation, 3 formation, and now what we should be able to do is make... What am I missing? Oh, third one acquired. Nice. And now what we need to do is we need to make a bunch of pistons. I should need that many, and then half of these should be sticky. And then that should make the storage buses that we need. Perfect. Now, I should be able to just come down here. I should be able to just place you there. And then piggyback like that, and now there it is. Sort by number of items. There we go. I like to see what I have most of, not what I have the least of, but that is that guy done. Now what I'm going to need to do is probably run some serious cable underground. Luckily, a good part of this is opened up, but we're going to need or want a storage bus over here. Yep, right there is where we want the storage bus. And we'll just go ahead and fill this in because we don't need it. Now, I do not have enough cable here to get us all the way over there, but what I want to do before we do that, I'm going to need to craft up some more cable, is we want to set the priority. So insertion, higher priority first, extraction, lower priority is first. So for insertion, we want this thing to be a higher priority than anything. Over here on this guy, we're going to want this guy to be the secondary priority. So we're just going to bump this to 1 because I am going to put a storage bus over there as well. Speaking of which, I should be able to just dig this out. Yep. And there is that a storage bus as well. Perfect. Of course, there's nothing in here because we don't have anything, but we are going to run cable like this. So we're going to use 2 channels off of this side. But I need to make a bunch more. All right, all cleaned up, and we should have everything in here, which we can see we have 6,026 cobblestone. I want to do a test to make sure that this cobblestone I have in my hands here, it's going to tick this up, but we should see 6858 on this number right here, which we do. Meaning that this is priority number 1. Items are going to go into here. And it looks like we're having a minor issue with this. We've had this issue in the past where these things are trying to get forced into a drawer. And it sometimes like unlocks my drawers is what it seems like. Because it did put the Certus quartz here. And we definitely don't want any of that to happen. We also don't want to see any of these quantities anymore, just to save us on, like any kind of frame lag or whatever. This will be fine if we don't see. I should just do that. Now we won't see any quantities. We're going to double do that just to make sure it locked everything. And I think we are super good. This colossal chest is not going to see anything get into it versus this one because I have this set to just a slightly higher priority. So everything should be going into here if it cannot go into here. Every so often we're going to want to go through this and just check things. Like I may want to take, and right now I have birchwood here. What we might want to do is dedicate a section to birchwood. Like I've got, you know, the nether stuff here. Maybe what we do, these are oak leaves. Yeah, maybe what we do is we do this. You know, we put the birch up there, relock this, unlock this, put all of the oak there, we'll unlock this. Hold on to these for just a minute, and we will go ahead and start placing, like, okay, I have, you know, a stack of oak logs. I'll place those there. I have quite a bit of this kind of stuff, so we will go ahead and place the nether woods in here as well. You get the picture. There we go. Woods placed in here. I will periodically be going through this, like I have a bunch of snow. We could place that in, I believe. Yeah, we even have snow. The things that we get a lot of, like this gilded blackstone, maybe we throw that in there. We've got some smooth stone. We just, like I said, we're going to keep an eye. We're going to keep this thing primarily for things like jewels, but what is super, super nice now is I can come in here and I can type in jewel, and there are all my jewels. I don't have to search anymore. I don't have to go through chests, and that is going to be so nice because we did unlock the ability to make new tools with level 50, and I want so bad to remake this guy. I even have jewels set aside somewhere for this specific craft. I think it's right here. I have that. So in the next episode, that is what we are going to work on. For now, though, we have definitely got some things going over here. I think we're going to go ahead and make some of the things like these growth accelerators when we can. I think I have all of the things to make this. I'm not sure if I can make 6 of them, though. At some point, we're going to need this because we're going to be growing the Fluix crystals as we get further and further into applied energistics. The next goal for us, however, is going to be getting into something like Kagirium and also moving the botany pots. But for now, did want to test and see if we can still dump. I threw some Larimar and we changed up a couple of things. Can I do this? I cannot. That is not good. We did change because I have things like these inside of drawers and these. Basically, this is all still drawer stuff. It's fine. What I can do is come into the base and just right-click that, make sure that it's good, and we can set that guy down. No big deal. Of course, we still have this guy, and we still have the food over here, which is pretty nice. I like it. We do need to keep in mind that this does use passive power. Right now, we're using 4 channels. This tells you everything it's using. The AE, we can switch this to RF. It is using 18 RF per tick. That is what it is using. The passive drain is 2 RF per tick. So as we use this, we need to make sure that we keep that in mind, that our cell here, I mean, we've got 7 million. But you can see this is ticking down ever so slightly, so we have to keep it in mind that eventually we're going to need a steady power income and not just this guy. I did place all of these buckets in here so that if we need to, we can just come and grab some lava if the system is shut down. We will know that the system is shut down by coming into here and we can't see anything. So, yep, we've got ourselves future-proofed. But we need to do something about getting lava. I talked about the mods that we wanted to get into next eventually. But maybe it's going to be worth us looking into getting into thermal expansion. That is where we're going to end things today. One thing I forgot to mention is there is a couple of other terminals. Mostly this guy right here, the pattern terminal. Very simple to make, and we're going to get into this. We can't make it yet because we need the automatic genius, but that eventually is going to be where that polished cut andesite is, right to my right shoulder, your left. That side. This side where I'm waving my hand. Eventually that's going to go there so we can get into some automation. We're going to make more of the things back there. Machines and stuff. For now, we are going to end things, though. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, you know the routine. Leave a like, leave a comment, consider subscribing if you're new to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one.